we do have some news that is very, very new and relatively huge. And it deals with the Arizona Coyotes, guys. We talked about the $2.1 billion project that they were proposing. We talked about when it first, came out. And it all really came down to the vote. And it looks as though the future of the Arizona Coyotes, specifically where they're going to be playing hockey, is once again very much in question after what happened, after the public vote went against the proposed Tempe Sports and Entertainment District that really would have just kept the team there in East Valley. The project was a 16,000 seat arena, a practice rink, 2 hotels, rental shops, 1,600 apartments, a theater, a sports book, pretty much everything all in one area, and it overwhelmingly voted against them. We'll get your initial reactions, guys, and what you think the future holds for the Arizona Coyotes. Russo, we begin with you, sir.
Well, first of all, I feel terrible for the fans there. I feel terrible for a lot of the people that are employed there and things like that. Because this has now got to be a harrowing thing. It feels like we are at the end of the line, and that relocation is going to happen, whether it's now or they play another year at Mullard Arena and move somewhere else. It just, I don't know what the other options are unless they somehow get in with the new Suns owner and figure out a way to turn that arena into a hockey rink. This is a personal defeat, 100% to Gary Bettman. He has hitched his wagon to this organization for probably way too long. This goes back years when not the NHL's decision, but old ownership made the decision to go out to Glendale when they probably needed to be somewhere in the Phoenix area or Scottsdale or something like that. And it's just been beat down after beat down after beat down. And I think the organization is shaken. I think they're shocked. I could tell you that this morning, I was supposed to be on the phone with Gutierrez to talk about their celebration, to talk about how this was the biggest day in their organization's history, and now it is by far their worst day. And now when the league is no longer saying we are committed to Arizona, they're saying we're looking at all options. That has got to be a harrowing thing for that organization. And it's a shock to me that it failed. It looked like, by all the voting, I mean, the polls and everything, it looked like they were winning this. And, again, 1.9 billion of the 2.1 billion was privately funded. So for this not to pass is beyond shocking. And it just feels like this is the exit plan for the Arizona Coyotes. And it's just a matter of when.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all of what Michael said. I'll say that. So here in Vegas, they've been building a lot of arenas and stadiums, and like T-Mobile Arena, where the Golden Knights play, was totally privately funded. The Allegiant Stadium, where the Raiders play, the city of Las Vegas, it was either 500 million or 750 million. I think $750 million of tax money went to pay for that stadium. And I am vehemently against taxpayers paying for rich people's stuff. So I understand some hesitancy, and when I see a vote against it, I understand why people would vote against it. But like Michael said, that most of it was privately funded, which is the surprising part. Like I said, I can see why someone would vote against putting public money to pay for something for people that have way more money than they do. This guy's a billionaire. This guy's a millionaire. Why are we paying for his stadium, for his arena, for his hockey team, his football team, his basketball team, his baseball team to play? At the same time, if it's that high of a percentage of privately funded, and it seems like it's one of the last straws to keep a team in a city, it's just really devastating for it to not pass. And like Michael said, starting out, we like to joke about the Coyotes a lot and how embarrassing it was that they're playing in a 5,000 seat arena and all this. They've got a lot of diehard fans that are going, if that team leaves, are going to be devastated. And those are the people that I feel the worst for right now.
Let's face it, it's the nail in the coffin. I mean, this is, off the top, I said the future is once again in question because it's not a matter of will they, won't they. I don't see any other path that leads to them staying there. Gary Bettman released a statement saying the National Hockey League is terribly disappointed by the results of the public referendum regarding the Coyotes Arena project in Tempe. We're going to review with the Coyotes what the options might be moving forward. Gary Bettman never used to say even anything like that would hint at this team not playing. For Gary Bettman to say that, I'm sorry, the writing's on the wall. And yes, I'm with both of you. Anytime hockey fans get disappointed or hockey fans lose their team, I feel for them. But I'm also in that group that kind of goes, let's bury this thing. You know, it's just, how many years can we talk about this not working? And this, if it's not going to happen, if 1.9 million of a 1.9 billion of a $2.1 billion plan is privately funded and you're still saying no thanks. What, you know, I know this is a podcast. People can say, I'm shrugging my shoulders. I don't know what else to do or say to save this team.
Yeah, I don't know if there really is anything. Again, the only option I can see is something with this new Suns owner. But you know, again, that's not going to be an imminent thing. What are you going to do in the interim here? I guess they were going to play in Muller Arena for 3 years until they broke, you know, while breaking ground on what they had hoped was going to be this new arena district. So they had that contingency plan. But man, this is obviously a devastating blow. And now the question is, where do they go if they have to leave Arizona?
That was my next question for you.
You know, yeah, I mean, Houston has obviously been one that's been rumored for a long, long time. We've seen the reports lately with Atlanta and the Alpharetta area and up there in Cobb County. Obviously, Salt Lake City's been in the mix. Kansas City's been in the mix. There's been talk of Sacramento. You know, obviously, people listening right now in Quebec are yelling at me that I'm not mentioning them. But, you know, you also have a team that's in the Central Division here. None of those Eastern teams are going to realign to the Central if you move them east of the Mississippi. So I really don't think Quebec is an option. I think it's Houston, Kansas City, Salt Lake.
Bring Detroit back to the Western Conference where they belong.
Yes. Man, that was weird. Anyways, obviously, this is, like we said, kind of the writing is on the wall, but this was the most recent news that we had to get out there. So we'll keep you updated on what goes on there.